You're listening to the Harmony of We, a space for remembering what we already are together. I'm Greg Kuiper, counselor, author, and fellow traveler in this ongoing field of being human. This podcast isn't about fixing. It's not about getting relationships right. It's about coming into resonance with yourself, with each other, and with the presence that lives in between. This is where the book Relationship, the Harmony of We continues in breath, in story, and in shared awareness.
Welcome. I'm really glad to be with you again here today. We're going to talk a little bit about conflict. You know, conflict is inevitable, but how we manage it in the moment is something that we can control. You ever notice how most fights or arguments in a relationship don't really begin when the voices get louder? They begin much earlier in moments that are kind of easy to miss, like, a tone, a glance, the eye roll, a response that lands just slightly off. And something shifts, not enough to name, but enough to feel. Today, I want to slow one of those moments down, not to analyze it, but to sit inside it with you as it unfolds. Okay? So here's the scene. It's evening, where the day hasn't quite let go yet. The kitchen light is on. The rest of the house is dim. There are dishes in the sink. Not a lot, but enough to feel like something that still needs to be done. She's standing at the counter. Her hands are in warm water, moving slowly, not rushed, but not relaxed either. He's nearby, leaning on the counter, phone in his hand, scrolling, half present. The TV is on in the background. Neither of them is really watching it. There's a quiet in the room. But it's not the kind of quiet that feels connected. It's the kind that feels slightly apart. She glances over, just briefly, then back to the sink. And she says, "Hey, can you help me with these?" It's a simple sentence, neutral. But underneath it, there's something else. A small hope, a quiet reaching. He looks up for a second. "Yeah, in a minute." And then his eyes go back to the phone. A few seconds pass. Water's running, a plate set down, the sound of a fork against ceramic. And something begins to build. Not loudly, not consciously, just a feeling. A sense of being alone in something that could be shared. She waits a little longer, maybe 10 seconds, maybe 30. And then she says, "You said that like 10 minutes ago." And there it is, the moment. It doesn't sound sharp, but something in the tone carries weight, something accumulated, something that didn't start here. And he feels it immediately, not the words, the impact, a tightening in his chest, a flicker of irritation, a quick internal shift. Why is this a thing right now? I said I would help. I just need a minute. And just like that, his nervous system moves. "I said I'd do it. Why are you on me about it?" The words come out a little faster than he intended, a little sharper. She stops washing just for a second, her hands still in the water, and she turns slightly. "I'm not on you. I just asked for help." But now her tone has changed too. Less open, more guarded. And now he feels that. "I am helping. You just don't see it." And now something else enters the room. Not just the two of them, but the pattern, familiar, predictable, already unfolding. Because this is where most people think the fight begins. But the fight didn't begin here. It began earlier, in the moment the first request wasn't felt. In the moment, the response didn't quite meet what was underneath. In the moment, something small went unseen. When she said, "Can you help me with these?" It wasn't just about the dishes. It was, "Can you be with me in this? Can we do this together? I don't want to feel alone right now." And when he said, "Yeah, in a minute," he wasn't trying to disconnect. He was, "I will help. I just need a second. I'm not ignoring you." But neither of those inner experiences were spoken or felt. And so the moment drifted. Let's go back. Same kitchen, same evening, same quiet. "Hey, can you help me with these?" "Yeah, in a minute." A few seconds pass. "You said that like 10 minutes ago." And here it is again, the moment. This time he feels the same tightening, the same impulse, the same urge to push back. But something interrupts it, just slightly. He notices the feeling in his chest, in his jaw, that urge to react. Instead of moving with it, he pauses just long enough to stay. He looks up, really looks this time, and he says, "Hey, are you feeling like I'm not helping right now?" Everything shifts, not dramatically, but immediately. She pauses because that's not what she expected, and something in her softens. "A little, yeah." He nods, steps closer. "Okay, I didn't realize that. I can come help now." And just like that, the moment stays open, no escalation, no defensiveness, just a small turn toward each other. Nothing about the situation changed. Same dishes, same people, same words, but the presence changed. In the first moment, they moved away from each other. In the second, they moved toward each other. And that movement is everything. Most disconnection doesn't happen in big moments. It happens in these small ones. Moments where something real tries to come forward and isn't quite met. Moments where the nervous system feels alone and moves to protect. But the same is true for connection. It also happens in small moments. A pause, a breath, a question that moves toward instead of away. Because often, if we don't need to fix the relationship, we don't need to. We need to notice the moment and stay just a little longer. And sometimes, after a moment like this, we begin to notice something else, the patterns we didn't see before. See you next time.